What's up, everybody? So, I was having this conversation the other day with a few friends, and we were talking about fantasy football. We were talking about, is Bijan Robinson the lock? Is he the lock? Is he the guy that is going to go fantasy football number one? Or do you have to consider Jahmyr Gibbs? And it mostly, we're in the Detroit area. We're in Michigan. We're not in the Detroit area. We're in Michigan. Everybody's Lions fan. So, of course, somebody's like, you would only say that because you're a Lions fan. But it got me thinking, and then an article came out about this that I want to walk through a little bit. Does Jahmyr Gibbs have a shot at being the offensive rookie of the year? Is this finally the year that a Detroit Lions player wins a rookie of the year award? I think Aiden Hutchinson was so close last year. At least that's what it felt like. And we've had some good rookies in the past, but does Jahmyr Gibbs have what it takes? So the question is he a good bet to win the rookie of the year? Well, for starters, he is sixth. He is sixth in odds to win the 2023 offensive rookie of the year. Bijan Robinson is, of course, number one. Bryce Young is two. Anthony Richardson and CJ Stroud are 3 and 4. Jackson Smith and Jigba is 5. I can understand that ranking system outside of Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think Jahmyr Gibbs should be ahead of him. So first thing, what we've got to do is we've got to look at who wins rookie of the year. I think if it was the MVP, it's like, well, he's not a quarterback. So no, he's not going to be rookie of the year. But I went back and I said, all right, who have been the most recent AP NFL rookies of the year? So let's start looking at this. In 2022, you have Garrett Wilson. A wide receiver. 2021, Ja'Marr Chase, wide receiver. 2020 and 2019, you had Justin Herbert and Kyler Murray, so you had quarterbacks. But then in 2018 and 17, guess what? Running backs. Saquon Barkley and Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara. Interesting. Like, that's the guy we all compare Gibbs to, right? The thought that he could be a dual threat back. And if you'll remember, in that season, Alvin Kamara was really heavy on getting receptions out of the backfield, more so than anything else. He ran the ball that year 120 times, and he was targeted 100 times for 81 catches. So he ran the ball for 728 yards. He caught 81 balls for 826 yards. So that was just kind of one of those things where it's like he was multiple, and that's why he was able to win rookie of the year, because he was about 1,600 yards total of 1,600 yards. 2016, you had Dak Prescott. 2015, Todd Gurley. Who was Todd Gurley's quarterback? All right, so there's some things in here that are starting to be like, okay, maybe he's actually got a shot at it. That was pretty good. And then this article is actually kind of saying something similar, talking about how it's not always rookies. He said, also remember, no wide receivers were taken in the first 19 picks of this draft, so it could be a year where a running back wins it. Additionally, in order to win these awards, these rookie of the year awards, you need big, memorable plays, and that's exactly what Gibbs was brought in to do. He can also do it in 3 phases of the game: rushing, receiving, and maybe even potentially as a kick returner too. So that was kind of unique. This guy was talking about this, and he's like, yeah, maybe the kick return is one of those things. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I don't necessarily see him being the kick returner. If he's the kick returner, that means he's not ready to be kind of that bell cow back. I don't necessarily think we'd put him both at kick returner and throw the ball to him 80 times and give him 150 carries. I think that's not as likely, because that's going to wear down on his body really, really fast, and he's not a massive guy. So if he's a kick returner, he better be a really good kick returner in order to get rookie of the year. But if he's returning kicks, I would say that actually hurts his chances. But he, in this article, Matthews went on to say it's the highlight plays too, right? So if he gets a kick return and he houses one, that sticks in everybody's memory bank when they're making votes. The explosive plays, I think that's what's going to matter, and when Ben Johnson is doing his magic. So basically, what they're saying is he has the opportunity to make plays. So let's rewind it back a little bit. Jahmyr Gibbs is here to replace one person, and that's DeAndre Swift. And he's here to do Swift's job better, more effectively, with more of a home run threat. Swift, what we knew about Swift is that he wasn't locked in. He was always trying to cut it outside. He was always going for the big play, when often the big play happens when you just make the right play. And if Gibbs can do that, and we know that he's even more explosive than Swift, we're going to see it on the field, but I'm telling you right now, he's more explosive than Swift. He's going to have big games. Swift would show up for 2-3 games a year and just ball out. The question is, what if you get a guy who can take his talent, and he is even more talented than Swift, and consistently use that? If he can do that, he can make a run on it. So if you're asking me my opinion, is this the year that the Detroit Lions have a player win Rookie of the Year? My answer would be no. I hate to tell you all of that. And it's not because I don't think Gibbs can have a good year. I think he can absolutely have a good year. But here's what I think is stacked against him. Bijan Robinson is going into a place that is tailor-made for him. The Falcons had a 1,000-yard rusher last year with no good running backs. At least no one even close to the talent level of Bijan Robinson. So if they can have a 1,000-yard rusher last year, and then you bring in Bijan Robinson and you give him almost the same role as Algier, who their running back was that had the 1,000-yard season, then he's probably going to get 1,400 yards on the ground. That's an offense that's built for a running back. When you combine that with the fact that I think at least one of Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, or CJ Stroud is gonna ball out a little bit. My money's on Bryce Young, by the way. But I think it kind of is a long road. But does he have the ability to get there? Yes, he does. And if the Lions utilize him from day one, and they may have to utilize him a lot more because Jameson Williams is out the first 6 weeks. Why would a receiver being out make him? Because the whole point is that he's a back that can catch it out of the backfield. Instead of looking to hit it over the top, there's going to be a lot of dink and dunk down to the running back, things of that nature. I think that he could be a bigger part of this offense, especially as you're working in Laporta at tight end, because tight end traditionally is a lot harder to grasp the offense right away. So running backs can usually come in and produce right now, right away. So he could have that big start to the year. And if he gains the trust of Ben Johnson and this coaching staff, then the sky's the limit. That's the way he could win it. But will he? I don't know. Here's what I do know. We're only a couple weeks away from training camp. So we are going to start hearing more about this. We're only a month away from preseason, and where we actually get to start seeing some of the skills. So make sure you check back here early and often as we're going through all those things. We want to be your place to talk about the Detroit Lions this year. Leave a comment below. What do you think? Is he going to get Rookie of the Year, or is he just going to have a good rookie year? I think those are the two options. If you think he's going to be a bust, you can let me know too, but I don't know what film you're watching. So anyways, hope you're enjoying the channel. Subscribe, comment. See you on the next one.